Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Napoleon Total War. Here are the opening shots from an attempt by the English to recapture London. Now my army is rather battered. This is only like the week turn afterwards. The following week we get counter-attacked. My infantry are still somewhat weakened. You can hear the artillery firing away heavily on both sides. My infantry, I have managed to, or had been forced to in fact, reconstitute several regiments together to actually form some decent strength units. Now I've been attacked in the flank at the reinforcements coming for the British Army. The army that I defeated just recently is pushing in. We're coming up against, where are they? The Light Dragoons. My cavalry have going to react to that. My cavalry are reacting. There were only 35 of us to start with, so we started at about half strength. You can hear that gunfire and cannon is just making such a mess. And my dragoons have wiped out his forces. Now we do have 2 regiments of foot. Well, almost regiments of foot. They'd form half a regiment of foot between them. My cavalry is now manoeuvring back. My chasseurs, my cavalry do not want to be taking on these infantry with sharp pointy sticks. I have fencibles, excuse me, British militia unit, and we do have the 10th Regiment of Foot. Now I'm having to withdraw a unit of fusiliers and a unit of chasseurs, both of which significantly outnumber the English. Either regiment on its own would be strong enough to deal with both regiments of English, but I don't want to have anybody slipping past me and catching me in the flank. Now my cavalry has fallen back to behind the woods. That's okay, because it's got a beautiful target. It's some artillery over there. Now what's happening in the centre? And the British Army is trying to, by the looks of it, pinning their hopes on this flank charge. My artillery is still firing. I hope you can hear me over the sound of the artillery fire. French artillery has started firing. My cavalry have decided to brave the English regiment of foot and have charged into the flank, taken them in the flank, routed them as well. The fencibles are going to follow a very, very similar fate very, very quickly. We might be outnumbered, but we're cavalry, we're on big horses, we're charging into the British line. We rout both units, and now my horsemen can continue and charge into their artillery. Now this artillery will not last very long at all. 6-pounder artillery is going to go down very quickly. Of course, does also mean that my infantry can reform and take the position back in the main battle line. At the moment, it is only an exchange of cannon fire on the main line. So here we have. I might not have a lot of cavalry, but they're fighting incredibly well. They're fighting admirably, destroying that artillery.
Artillery reported.
Not anymore. You're all dead. Right, that's all units broken by my artillery. By my cavalry. This is artillery and 2 infantry units. I do have armed citizenry. Somehow I find it ironically amusing that as a defence of London, I've managed to get some citizens to fight for me. And my artillery is firing grape shot, and promptly sends those light dragoons back whence they came. Yes, they did not like that at all. Following it up with more grape shot being fired at the artillery. Now we've got the British artillery here. These are 9-pounders, which are rather much heavier. Well, 50% heavier than the 6-pounders, obviously, named because that is the weight of the shell or the cannonball that they fire. Loading desperately there. Right. General staff has been hurt a few times on the English side. Fencibles and infantry, actually mostly infantry of units of foot. Full 1st Regiment of Foot. We have some fencible regiment. As you can see, lounging around, don't really care, not very smart. British Line Regiment, shoulder to shoulder, very smart chaps. Not for much longer. Now, what have we got in here? Ooh, look! Shh! We're hunting rabbits. What are we hunting? What is through this wood that we could be after? What could we find creeping through the wood? Oh, there go my cavalry. My cavalry are going into... yeah, another 6-pounder battery. Now the fencibles cannot form square against cavalry, and desperately do not want to be caught in the flank even by a weakened unit of cavalry. So I'm turning it to face. General Staff is moving with them. Now, because they're turning to face, I'm able to get flank shots onto this line regiment, causing immense amounts of damage. Not sure we actually get to see a shot on a line, on the flank of a line, but it knocks over almost the entire row of troops as soon as it happens. It is truly a sight that is awesome. No, doesn't look like we're going to see anything exciting like that. Here we do have a cavalry charge, again by a weakened regiment of chasseurs de cheval, straight into the artillery. I always tend to use my... hush now! Thank you. I always tend to use my cavalry for the charges into artillery. It is just, for me, just the best way to use them. Especially light cavalry. Heavy cavalry, of course, completely different thing. Heavy cavalry, very good for charging in and crushing your opponents head on. But if you've got light cavalry, good for running down troops that are routing and good for taking out artillery units. Right. Cavalry now, having completed its task of massacring, butchering that artillery, is now moving out and into the retreat. This forces the British Army to make a move. British Army are now going to try and recapture London from me. How can you tell this is England? Well, because it was raining when we started. It's now bright and sunny, perfect for a great game of cricket. And believe me, give these Johnnies English a 5-minute head start, they will actually start playing cricket. Madmen that they are. Artillery is coming in. 16th Regiment of Foot is desperately trying to fill the gap is left in the line by being so slow and slovenly. And my artillery are ready for them. My general is sat here at the back. Ooh, that's a risky manoeuvre. Light cavalry chasing after General Staff. It looks like General Wellington, because that's who's commanding here, is about to lose. Cavalry then charge for some inexplicable reason into the back of this infantry regiment. There are 18 of me and 130 of them. We've hit them in the rear. We haven't done them an awful lot of damage, but we have caused them to pause and disrupted the rest of his army. Cannonball kills a couple of my own guys there. That's not the brightest move ever. Let's see if we can get some. Right, we got gunfire, musket fire coming off. Artillery will be switching to grape shots soon. Follow this infantry regiment in. Right, we have the 9th Regiment of Foot now blasting away. Being shot in the flank by my infantry. And worse, my artillery's just here. My artillery gets attacked together and fires grape shot into the flank of this lot. Could be devastating. Yep, that was a grape shot flurry into the flanks. What's the main army doing? Main army is driving off these foot. Now, in the centre here, where are we? Where are you, chaps? I know you're in here. Right, here we go. Yep, we now have a firefight in the woods between my skirmishers and his regular infantry. Now, as the British learned in the American War of Independence, this only ends one way. Because tactics do not allow for the British to duck and hide behind trees. They must stand shoulder to shoulder, whereas the French, troops in this instance, because they're light infantry and skirmishers, are trained to take cover. Desperately loading. Shove the ram, run home. Yep. Right, gunfire is getting heavy. We've now pulled 4 regiments of foot onto ourselves. We don't want to be there anymore. Right. Now, what have we got here? Waiting outside the wood, we do have 2 fairly strong regiments of foot. Ready to be able to respond. We do have 2 artillery batteries as well firing into the flank. My single artillery battery on its own is just seeing off a regiment of foot over there as well. Now, the 16th Regiment of Foot is not going to be coming back out of this. Now, my infantry are repositioning themselves more to allow a better angle of fire by the 2 twin batteries of artillery stationed there. My chasseurs are falling back. Where are my chasseurs falling back to? A very long way away. I think at the moment I've just ordered them to get the hell out of there as fast as possible. Now, I've still got a regiment of chasseurs de Chevelle at the rear of my opponent's line. Musketeers fire, musket fire. British are coming out of the woods, which is always a good thing, because firing into the woods does mean that fewer casualties, unfortunately. Would do offer some protection, just by the daunt of there being that many trees. That infantry regiment's routing. This infantry regiment, however, 129 men strong, is coming out and is going to face my infantry here, and also going to face artillery fire. Shame looked like I got a flank hit from some artillery and didn't get to see it. So rarely actually get to see it actually happening as it happens. Right, we have a regiment of fencibles, 150 strong. These are almost full strength regiment. I do have my chasseurs rallied and ready. Down to 78 men. They were 120 strong when we landed in Britain. Now down to 78 men, desperately trying to find reinforcements and replacements. Artillery in the north still firing at the 16th Regiment of Foot. Fencibles moving out. Look like they're going to try and turn the line. No, that's it. They've had enough as well. Yes, one shot from the volley from the chasseurs, I think, did send them packing. Right. British Regiment of Foot has rallied. They have down to 160 men. It's a shame that militia regiment routed. Actually, we didn't actually get any kills on them, so they just routed. The morale just gave up. Everybody else was routing around them. Right, 11th Regiment of British Foot, and we have 2 regiments of English Foot inside this wood as well somewhere. Where are you? I see you hiding. Yes, 2 regiments of British Foot. The 1st Regiment of Foot is actually inside the wood. 1st and 4th. Yep, both of them still over half strength. Cavalry's moving out. The cavalry is moving out and assisting in the 16th Regiment of Foot, never wishing to take back to the battlefield again, wiping them out. And infantry moving out. Very cautiously by the looks of it. Yep, confident, winded. Concerned about casualties? Not as concerned as you're going to be, chaps. You're just about to be really concerned about casualties. Nearly missed this firefight over here. Between 2 of my almost full strength regiments and the 11th Regiment of Foot, who are holding their line but not not doing enough damage to worry us yet. Right, British infantry regiments are marching forwards. Artillery has fallen silent, been given orders to cease fire. We have 2 units to their front. Unfortunately, I believe my chasseurs, light infantry chasseurs have actually run out of ammunition. My light horse back here have finished off that, or are finishing off those fencibles. Yep, they were 150, they're now down to 24. Now here come 2 regiments of English foot. That regiment of English foot on the flank has broken and run. Now 2 regiments of English foot coming up the centre. Now, does my artillery spot it and react in time? Yes, it looks like they are. Yep, they are going to react. Yep, that was enough for the 4th Regiment. 1st Regiment of Foot displayed a slightly sterner stuff. No, actually, they're routing as well. As both the regiments are routing, this is the entire British Army is now routing. Cavalry came down to help the 11th Regiment of Foot on their way home. Chasseurs have run out of ammunition, unfortunately. Well, congratulations to the French. I have been Havoc. Catch you guys on the flip side.